much better day today. Much better day. Guys ran around. I was a little worried because obviously we're tired. Tuesday, even though it wasn't very sharp, it was still, there was a lot of reps. It was full pads. It was physical. And then today was the hottest day that there's been since we've been out here this spring, and our guys really responded. Offense had some moments and won some drills. Defense responded and had their own moments, so I was pleased. Injury update: Gary's groin pull is a little bit more severe than we thought. Very similar to, I guess, what Jordan Hicks had, where he pulled the adductor longus off of the pelvis, but I mean millimeters, and so it's non-surgical. They'll put him in a brace, and that should, with all the different injury, this has happened, hundreds of thousands of times, and nowadays they used to go in and tack it to the bone. They put him in a brace to make sure it doesn't stretch and just let that scar up, and it seems to do a lot better. So about 6 weeks for him. So hurt for him. I know he wanted, he was really coming along as a leader, but and he can still lead in other ways, and it's a good opportunity for some of these young guys to get reps. Speaking of that position, Ed Freeman injured his tricep, over the Christmas break, fell at home and injured it, and then re-injured it out here. So we're still working through. Again, an MRI today, did not practice today, so we'll know a lot more shortly. Mikey Grandy has a concussion, so he'll be out for a while. And then Jordan Pouncey, just there in the last drill, rolled his ankle, not a high ankle sprain. We don't think so. It shouldn't be too major. A lot of the other injured guys, though, are progressing. Got a second opinion on Kyle Porter. Came back, everything confirmed from the first opinion, so hopefully he's about 10 to 14 days away from getting back. We did move a position change. We moved Cameron Townsend to running back. Right now there's open tryouts at that position. We did not fumble one time today, so I was encouraged by that. You can get happy. We did our job. But at least it's an improvement from not doing our job. So, questions?
What are you calling Gary Johnson's injury?
An adductor longus, grade 3 sprain, I guess.
Is there a layman's term for that?
Groin pull. Yeah.
Is that to say that Danny Young and Tennille aren't getting it done like you wanted?
No, they fumbled too much. They've had some really good runs. They responded really well today.
Yeah.
The O-line did too, but we had a really good inside drill from an offensive standpoint, and right. The backs were a big part of that.
But and I know how much you put on ball security. I know that, but just for you to use the word open tryout, when you have 2 scholarship guys and a guy who played a lot in November, that says that they must be fumbling more than, or one is too many, I know, but they're putting it on the ground more than you'd like.
Yeah, one. You're right. One is more than enough, and we made a point that we've got to improve at that position, whether that's development of the current guys or whether that's new guys coming in. And Cameron, is just like Keontae Ingram, if you will. If he can come in and if he improves that position more than the development of the guys that are already here has improved that position, then right. We're better off for it.
With Gary out, is Todd able to kind of mix and match and have a little fun at linebacker?
Yeah, today we put, we had Lightning in again, and we had Jeffrey McCulloch at the middle linebacker. We had Malcolm Roach at the will linebacker. So, he's able to get a lot of speed on the field and get those guys, cross-trained the way that we would like them to be.
Tom, what, your quarterbacks
had a really good day today.
Any details on how they're progressing?
They're progressing like I hoped they would have. Sam Ellinger, I told him today, had his 2 best throws, within the span of 5 minutes since he's been here over a year in an 11-on-11 situation, and really, ripped the ball in tight windows in a red zone period that both resulted in touchdowns. And then Shane's throwing the ball really well, commanding the offense, and so and then again, I can't tell you enough, knock on wood, those 2 young guys, again, for guys that should be in high school right now, they are I'm used to when your 4th string quarterback goes in, that you might as well turn your back and get a water and let it play out, because you're not going to move the ball. But we moved the ball with those 2 guys in there.
What your receivers, coach? How those guys, they seem to look the part right now.
Mm-hmm.
How they look for you?
Gerard showed up today. Had a rough start, but showed up today really well. John Burt has had a really they're all playing well. Devin Duvernay is playing well. I hope Jordan Pouncey's not out for too long, because he needs the development. And then, Colin and LJ are playing really well too.
Tom, Brandon Jones is the guy that towards the end of last year started playing more consistently.
Who is that?
Brandon Jones.
Oh.
We haven't talked a lot about him this spring, but what do you want to see from Brandon as the spring goes on, leading towards spring?
Consistency. And I know that sounds like coach speak, but I think we all saw him make some great plays, and then just some, oh my God, I can't believe that happened plays. And so that's going to be the big thing for him. We'll take the few great plays, but the rest of the time need to be steady, consistent plays.
You alluded to this at your signing day conference, but since Sunday is the first day that recruits can take spring official visits, do y'all have a strategy in place for the spring about how you want to handle that? I know you mentioned about kind of limiting the days they could be here.
Yeah, I think we're at 3 weekends right now that we'll host visitors. That's not to say that, if there's a guy that we got to have and he's a can't miss guy, and he says, Coach, this is the only time I can come see Texas, then we might make some adjustments. But right now we're trying really hard to push those guys to 3 weekends, and we think they're 3 really good weekends for us in terms of what's going on around Austin and on our campus.
Spring game, one of those for sure.
It's not, no. It's like a game day visit. I know a lot of schools are using their spring game as one, but I think the reason we recruit so well is because we spend so much time with those guys, and we develop those relationships, and they come to my house and they play basketball, and there's a lot of fellowship and bonding that goes on. And when you have those game day visits, a lot of that gets shortchanged. And I want to make sure that doesn't happen.
Speaking of
time for 2 last ones, guys.
You haven't talked much about the spring game at all. I mean, having it at night is a nice change, I would think, for a lot of folks. And just what do you expect out of what should be kind of a big event?
I sure hope so. Maybe it was too hot last year, or was on a tough weekend for people to come out. But there's schools out there, regardless of record, they're putting 80, 90,000 people in the stands for spring game, and I don't see why the University of Texas should be any different. And we've moved it to the nighttime, so hopefully it'll be a little bit cooler. People will get all their chores and lakeside jogging in and all that stuff in during the day, and then hopefully come see the Longhorns that night. We will draft teams this year. I don't know exactly the format. We hadn't really talked specifics. I do know this: we're only going to have 1 offensive line,
Right.
So they'll be in different colored jersey, and we'll have just a rotation. But we'll draft the rest of the positions and play it like a real game.
Last one. What 2 things? What are you expecting out of Saturday? What's your hopes? And we haven't talked a lot about Vahe or Shackelford. So what have you seen out of those 2 guys too?
Pat's improved. Both those guys haven't. I'd be shortchanging Shaq, but Pat especially stands out. He's Coach Hand has cleaned his technique up quite a bit, and he's playing more consistently good technique. And what do I expect out of Saturday? Probably a lot like today. You know, guys running and hitting and flying around and energetic, enthusiastic, and both sides of the ball hopefully having some success, but hopefully not slanted, you know, towards one side too much.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks.
Cool.